Good evening, folks, and welcome to the official art community. This is Fortunate coming at you. We are now sitting on December 2nd, 2022, which means we are here celebrating our 32nd podcast with you all. We are very excited to be here with you tonight. And without further ado, I'll pass the floor over to our wonderful founder, Mr. Atlas.
Thank you for the introduction, Fortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming this evening. My name is Atlas. This is the ARK Podcast number 32. And guys, we're very excited. We have a fantastic update that's been pushed out live for all investors to have the opportunity to change their referral. There's a lot of folks that were in a rush. They were understanding that they were really racing against the time to get in and purchase their NFTs for the private and pre-sale, and those mistakes were really causing some folks to not be able to get into their teams correctly. And we had an overwhelming request from a lot of folks to fix that. Someone even referred themselves by mistake. They put in their own address. So we're glad that we were able to really understand the demand from the community. We here have a culture of really listening to investors and making sure that they're set up correctly so that they're able to follow their correct strategy, which is so important in ARK, that you really get organized. And if you're with a team, you've got the right wallets, you're in the right legs, and you're able to really just thrive throughout the whole process. It is a long-term investment, and you want to make sure to be in the right place before launch. For the folks that are in that process, we've put out here an announcement on how to really go through the process, and I'll just read it out to you. It is pinned and posted in our chat, and it has been disseminated to the other groups. If it's not in your group, you're in a particular group, you're more than encouraged, and we request that you share that with your groups. The number one step is to go to the app.arkfi.io, to the D app there, and the second step is to go to my upline refer. Click on the button to change. That's the third step. And the fourth is to input your new refer and click confirm. After that, your fifth step is to approve the transaction. And six, just wait for the change to reflect. That generally happens. It's actually updating every 5 minutes, but it could take up to a minute depending on the amount of processing time that happens on the actual transaction on the blockchain. So great work to our development staff here on the back end and front end. These guys did a fantastic job, and we're seeing that everything's working very smoothly. If anybody has had any issues, please feel free to get in contact with us. But so far, we've had nothing but positive responses. I've been checking my DMs. Folks are very grateful, very happy, and they're feeling the way you should feel if you're invested here at ARK, which is always calm, cool, and collected. So that's going great. We are giving folks plenty of time to go ahead to and deposit those NFTs. It's very important that you go ahead and do so that you are counted. We have a deadline set for that with the December 9th. It'll be next Friday. That's when we want everybody really accounted for. We also have a small amount of NFTs for the private sale round 3 that are available. So if you have any friends, folks that didn't have a chance, this is a fantastic opportunity. And there's 75 left out of 800 that are for this round. After that, it's being locked. And the only opportunity you really have to purchase our token will be at launch. So, make sure if you need to buy some more and you want to, have multiple wallets and you want to play that strategy, this is a great opportunity for you or somebody that to get in, or maybe they want to join your team and be a part of it. Great opportunity. Go ahead and get them set up here, as we have plenty of time till December 7th to be exact for this to close. As soon as we reach the full sale of the 800, this contract will be closed and the liquidity will be moved on over to the whole system for the launch. So looking forward to that as well. And there's a couple things we want to talk about this evening. Let me see first. Let's see if we actually take a first question. If there's anybody that might have a question or a comment regarding really anything about ARK, or in particular, if you want to talk about the change referral, you're more than welcome to step up.
Yep, I got a question.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, there's on the release dates, the downline referral tree becomes available after the legacy NFTs. Can we have that the other way around so we know what NFTs to buy?
Well, I think that everybody can buy NFTs as soon as they're up for sale. I mean, you just have to know which wallet you want to put it in, and if you've cataloged and you've been able to do a diagram of your setup, if you're going to be doing a multi-wallet strategy, Mark, you should already know the ability to see those NFTs before launch. I'm sorry, to see the downlines and the uplines before launch is just confirm that everything's set up and situated, that you did it correctly through the change referral process before we go ahead and get started. But it's really final, and it is not really necessary at that point. And the way that the process and the coding and everything that's being put together is built up in stages. Ideally, our plan was to have it at launch. We're speeding things up. We're putting a lot more pressure here on the team and Crypto.Yon before that. Did you want to add something to that, Brett?
Oh, yeah, because the downline referral trees are available on the 12th. The NFT, the legacy sale begins on the 9th, but you'll have forever to buy one. So they're not going to go off sale. Basically, we'll just go to launch. So anytime after the 9th, you can make a legacy NFT purchase. We're just going to have the data available on the 12th to see your downlines. So if you're waiting for that, then you'll have 3 days before launch to make that purchase. And then obviously the contracts will be live still, even after launch.
Yeah, it's just I've been getting a lot of DMs and messages in groups that people would like to know their downline, to know what NFT to buy, whether to go the silver or the gold.
Yeah, you'll have 3 days after the downlines are available before the launch date. So you'll have, if you're waiting for that, then you'll have 3 days to make that purchase decision before the launch date.
That's if there's any left.
Yeah, if there's
Yeah.
If you're concerned about that, then obviously you'd want to purchase on the 9th or 10th.
I already know I already know what I'm purchasing. It's just other people have been asking me questions about it, so I thought I'd ask you.
Well, I got a question for you, Mark.
Yep.
Are you going to leave any legacy NFTs for anybody else?
I'm only getting 10.
Okay, that's very reasonable and admirable. Nice, congratulations, man. Yeah, I know. I know that you're a big player, man, and you know what you're doing. So smart move, fantastic move.
Yeah, well, I'll see how it goes with the sale, because I've got the founder wallet, then I've got another wallet another team that I'm building underneath another wallet. So yeah, I might even upgrade to another one. So yeah, because I'm trying to work that out as well.
I know you. I know you've been hard at work, man.
I don't know how many people are under the second one.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. Once the 12th is coming along, to understand. But yeah, as I was telling you in the beginning, I mean, everybody has the opportunity as soon as they're available to go ahead and get them and put them in their respective wallets according to their strategy. I personally, I don't feel that you need to have that view exactly to make a decision, because you also have always the bond LP. That's just always going to be there. It doesn't have a limit, as well as, if we don't sell out, the opportunity to upgrade. And I think we've put enough supply to meet the demand. So I don't want to speculate and, in any way, shape, or form, create any type of, synthetic buy pressure with fear. I mean, the supply is quite adequate.
I'll
especially.
speculate.
What?
I said I'll speculate. I think the NFTs, as the project goes on further and further, the NFTs, the price of them is going to be just keep going up and up and up. That's my thoughts on it, because people will want them.
Well, I mean, we're not changing the price on any of them. Once they're sold, they're sold. You mean secondary market?
Yeah, it's on the free market. I think the price will just increase as people try to get hold of them.
That's correct, and that's one of the great advantages too, that someone could keep using them and moving them to other wallets, or they could go ahead and sell it to somebody else for a nice profit. It's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds. But yeah, we're just going to have to let it play out. It's obviously I think a decent and fair supply, especially those platinum NFTs. 100 only of those. That's going to be a hot item. I think, especially as the whole system really starts to catch fire, and we start to see a lot of team building and folks that want to take advantage of that. But it's also a great tool for the lone wolf investor who doesn't really want to play teams but wants to be a partner in the whole system. So that's going to be quite interesting. Be able to come with us to those external investments, and I do have some news about that just falls into the line. I think Mr. Z is going to be joining us probably in a couple of minutes, and I want to have him go over an article that I found today that was very interesting. We've got some folks that join here. If we can unmute them, admins, maybe they have a question or a comment. So we got Taylor in the house as well. Thank you, admins. Anyone have a question or comment? All right.
Yeah, I was just wondering, Atlas, if you could maybe speak on what the plan is for marketing and community building, all that.
Absolutely. We just came out of an AMA today with Rude Kane's Lounge. We actually did it on Twitter Spaces. We touched on it. Brett actually gave a pretty good explanation. Brett, you want to step on up with us and talk a bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So our main focus is community-based marketing and supporting, with contests like we have going right now with the YouTube video contest, as well as the Medium article writing contest. But that's easily scalable, and we can move on to other platforms as we go on. But that's been a real winner for these type of daily ROI dApps. They've seen huge growth through just the Google search engines. So YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, and then Google search is the largest. And so having articles written and published on Medium, which is basically owned by Google, those get picked up and make it to the top of the search results pretty quickly. And then also YouTube as well has been a huge thing in the DeFi space for just promoting and providing education and information to users and people, investors that are looking for opportunities. So those are our two initial things that we're really trying to push and ramp up. And as the as those contests and channels mature, those are just going to scale and get even bigger for us as the community grows and we onboard more people. We have people in-house and on our advisory board that are experts in helping build those channels. SK Crypto K, you may know, Patrick Cryptozoa. Those two alone have huge followings and the ability to communicate in a way on those different platforms that attract a lot of new investors. I think Patrick has over about 30,000 in his drip network, and SK is pretty close to the same. He may even have a little bit more. So yeah, those are two huge opportunities. And as we grow our army of YouTube influencers and Medium article writers, it's just a big network effect. So that's the initial marketing push. Also, we have almost daily AMAs with groups outside this one. So in addition to these daily podcasts that we're doing for anybody that comes to the Telegram group and gets invited to the podcast every day, we're also doing outreach with other AMA and influencer groups. So that's really the big thrust for the next, I would say, 2 to 3 months. But then as we move into the mass market and we start going after large groups that are outside of crypto, that's where we're going to be talking with network marketers and growing, those experts in that field that'll couple with our mobile app technology, which we hope to, overcome a lot of the hurdles that people have with getting involved in DeFi. Getting the centralized exchange set up and getting your DeFi wallet set up, and then buying crypto, sending crypto, all these things. With our fiat on-ramp and then our mobile web app, we'll cut down the number of steps that it takes for somebody to get on board and make an investment into ArkFi. And then the next piece to that will be our fiat off-ramp plans, which we're not going to reveal a whole bunch of details yet, but we have a third party that we're working with to be able to deliver that down the road as well. So that's kind of a big overview. And then as we grow partnerships and new product opportunities, I think those will expand and will evolve. But community-based marketing is by far our biggest opportunity. If we're not going to be doing like display ads and things like that, just ineffective, been proven ineffective time and time again, because we have an education-based product and it's a demonstration product. We have to be able to show people how it works, and social proof through those type of YouTube videos and articles where people are telling their story about, how they ROI'd in ARK within, a few months, and they got their initials back and now they're growing and building their investment. Those are the most powerful conversion tactics.
Thank you, Brett, and thank you for the question, Taylor. Do you perhaps have another question, Taylor?
No, excuse me. I just I agree with Brett completely. I think community-based building is the best way to go. It's pretty much just a waste of money to go for a larger audience until we built the base here. So I liked everything he was able to say. I think maybe a meme competition might be good to add as well.
What do you mean about a meme competition? I don't know if I understand that.
Just develop community-based development of memes for the ARK platform. We want to get the word out. Social media, all of our users, not just influencers sending stuff out, but our users as well. And that typically is the hardest part of it, is finding things to send out. And so, just a good cache of memes is always helpful, I think, in getting the word out initially, at least.
Right, but could you maybe give me an example? Because in my mind, there's memes are like kind of funny things, but maybe can you give me an example of what you mean?
Well, I mean, just things that could be copy and pasted, GIFs, JPEGs, things like that are uh, a part of uh, not the official media book for ARK, but just fun things that people can send out to spread awareness of the project. What that ends up being will be dependent on what comes out of the competition usually. But I've seen it work lots of times before, I think.
Yeah, I've seen the one with this guy that's like, kind of bald and maybe in his 60s, white hair around, and his ears, and it's like, I've lost my life savings again. Maybe time to go to ARK.
Yeah, and I mean the name itself lends itself to depictions of maybe the ARK, Noah in the ARK. I'm getting on to save the last of my funds or whatever, stuff like that. So I think a lot of fun stuff could come out of it. That's why I think the competition is probably a good idea.
Okay, man. I see what you're saying. That's
Well, here's one. You actually can make this like there are many variations, and you can just add the text and add some funny line or whatever. They're fun.
Yeah, and I mean, marketing people and graphic designers, they're good at creating things, but some of the weirdest stuff and most eye-catching stuff is just going to come from random people in the community, I think. Uh, you never know what can come when you unleash a bunch of people that are involved in a project.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we didn't think about that one. I mean, we try to keep it kind of clean and professional. I don't know if you've noticed, Taylor. We try to stay away from a lot of the sort of degen memes. We're going for an investor that's generally in the real world and looking for that passive income, as we're seeing a lot of things having issues. Um, so we're trying to keep it clean and professional. We don't want people to come and think we're just a bunch of clowns clowning around all day. So we'd have to, I guess, have some parameters.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I definitely get the aesthetic you're going for, and I think it's the best way to go, especially having the on ramp. But that's the purpose of the competition, is so that you can pick winners, pick what's going to be put out to the larger audience, and then you've still got control over it. It's not you're not telling people to just send things out. That's the purpose of the competition.
Love it, man. Look, that's what we need: fresh ideas from you guys, and things that you see have in the past have worked for other projects, and just making sure that it fits into our culture and what we're doing here. There are a lot of folks out there that have gotten hurt, that are hurting. I've been checking out what's going on with Credit Suisse over in Switzerland, and their earnings report. A lot of things have happened there that are quite quite illegal and embarrassing on a whole global banking finance scale. It's pretty scary, and you're also seeing um, that there's also that house of cards situation happening in traditional finance. A lot of the customers are heading over to UBS, looking for replacing their wealth. A lot of the customers in the high net worth capital part of their bank have taken some pretty strong losses. A lot of mismanagement of funds and just bad investments that are really taking an effect, and we're seeing that trickling down. And it's almost like, okay, who's going to be next? So we've had our Luna and FTX, but they're having their Credit Suisse ugly moment, and it's looking pretty bad. Looks like there might be a lot of exposure coming to a lot of the banking institutions on a very, very large scale, very high level. We're talking here into, you know, about $10 billion have just been kind of wiped out, and really affecting situations, which again, it really fits into the whole narrative of what we're doing here about DeFi, taking the middleman out of the equation. And there's another thing that I guess Z's not going to be coming. I spoke to him. He said to give him a couple minutes. He's been traveling and really busy. But there's an article here. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull it up and share it with you guys and go over it together. But it's going into fitting something that we've talked about here a few times of our external investments. So if you bear with me for a moment, I'm going to do a screen share so we can look at it together. Okay. All right. Can you guys see the article? You see my screen share?
Yeah, I've got it.
All right. Thank you. I like the way that Z goes over articles, but he's not here with us. So I'll just go ahead and do it because it is very interesting. So we're seeing here talking about crypto miners in Russia capitalize on the bear market by hoarding ASIC devices. Miners in Russia have likely been increasingly buying crypto ASICs due to reduced prices of mining devices, as well as low cost energy. We all know that Russia is a very energy rich country. Crypto, Cryptocurrency miners in Russia appear to be unbothered by the ongoing crisis of crypto mining, as the local demand for mining hardware has reportedly been on the surge in Q4 of 2022. Some crypto mining hardware distributors in Russia have faced a significant spike in demand for mining designed application specific integrated circuit ASIC chips. The local news agency Kommerstat reported on December 1st. Local dealer, I'm going to probably murder this, Chilkut, reported its ASIC sales in November and October exceeded its entire sales made in Q3. Over the past 9 months, the distributor reportedly sold 65% more hardware than in 2021. We are working with legal entities and we see that they began to buy 30% more equipment in one transaction than at the beginning of the year, Chilkut development manager Artem Arin said. BitRiver, Russia's largest crypto mining focused data center facility, has also recorded a notable increase in demand, reportedly seeing 150% growth over the past 10 months. Russia's reported surge in demand for cryptocurrency mining hardware comes amid tough times for the mining industry, with total Bitcoin and the quoted price at 17,067, mining revenue hitting 2-year lows in late November. A number of mining firms, including Argo, Blockchain, and Core Scientific, have even questioned whether they would be able to continue operations due to massive losses driven by the current bear market in crypto. Miners in Russia have likely been increasingly hoarding crypto ASICs due to reduced prices of mining devices as well as low-cost energy. 51 ASIC co-founder Mikhail Brevdev reportedly said that Bitcoin mining in Russia can still be profitable despite a massive drop in BTC price this year. According to the executive, the cost of mining 1 BTC at the electricity cost of 0 cents per kilowatt hour with the most up-to-date equipment can generate roughly $11,000. At that time of writing, Bitcoin is trading at 60,975, down 70% over the past year, according to data from CoinGecko. So this is something very interesting. I was in Russia actually last year and looking at some of the power plants that are going offline, because those are gold mines just waiting and sitting there to be picked up as they can be revamped and brought up to spec and provide a very, very cost-effective, very cheap source of energy for mining, as well as a couple of plants that I was able to identify that were coming online with a massive amount of megawatts that would also be a very profitable thing, especially back then. At the time I was going, there, Bitcoin was at all-time high. Our plan here is to go to Alberta, Canada, and hook up to the well, put the generators and turbines with a cost of around 1 cent per kilowatt hour. Okay, that's a 7x cheaper than what these guys are doing over in Russia. But they have the right spirit, which is also what we have in mind here, of picking up these ASICs from a lot of these companies that have just gone bankrupt. They're spending right now their profits from the past couple of years to keep the lights on, but a lot of them have understood that it's just not profitable. They're going out of business. They're really wastefully spending a lot of the investors' funds. So our opportunity there, this company's been doing it for 2 years. They got a 5-year contract with renewable extensions directly with the oil companies that are, under, federal regulations, primarily from the environmental impact authorities, that as they're doing their shale fracking over there in Canada, they have to flare the natural gas, the methane that's really coming out. So it's a situation for those oil companies that, unless they can spend the time, which is extensive, and the amount of capital required to build a pipeline to take that gas to market, they have to stop the production at the well. So this partnership with this company is worked out to be a win-win situation, because as they offset that natural gas to the company that's doing the mining, they're able to increase their balance sheet and their profits by continuing further with their mining exploration and production from the well. So that's something that we want to get into, and it's just interesting to see. As I was checking out something today and looking at this, it stood out to me because I've been talking about this for a while. We can buy these ASICs for pennies on the dollar. I've got a friend with over, I think, 3 megawatts of miners sitting in storage for almost going on 2 years. Here in Europe, the electricity has just made it, unprofitable. So we can go out there and we can really seize an opportunity and connect that and be profitable, like from day one. We have a 1 cent per kilowatt hour cost. I mean, it's really free, but you have to calculate the cost of the turbines and just running the operation, the staff. So really exciting. I wanted to share that with you for those of you folks that know some of our plans here for external investments. These are the type of opportunities that we'll be presenting to our DAO, our legacy NFT investors. So just wanted to share that. Any questions or comments? Maybe you, Brett?
Yeah, I looked into when I was on my search for, passive income streams, mining is one of the first things that kind of comes to mind, but the hurdle for power is always the biggest problem, right? And then the hardware, obviously, you have to keep up with that and keep upgrading it. And not too long ago, when mining was, the hot thing, you couldn't even get an ASIC miner. Well, you could, but it was very expensive for the video cards and everything else. And so I looked into it, kind of ran the numbers and abandoned it. But, if you can get power for essentially for free and hardware, on the cheap, then you've got a viable, passive income stream essentially, and it's very scalable in that sense. So yeah, I think it's going to be an important part of our roadmap and our plan to bring those external revenue sources to everyone in ways that isn't easily attainable by just the average person. You have to have the infrastructure, you have to have those supply chain channels to get that hardware, and then you have to have the people on site there to manage it, set it up, make sure the networks are safe, and all of those kind of things. So yeah, it's something that's difficult to do on an individual basis in a cost-effective manner, and really not profitable at a small level. You really have to have scale. So I think it's a good fit for an investment opportunity, and if the DAO decides that that's a viable business plan and investment that we want to move forward with, then we could do that.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's a decision. Go ahead, Taylor.
I guess my question is, and I'm still kind of getting caught up on the difference in NFTs, but when is the legacy NFT sale, and how does that scale into the DAO?
December 9th, that you're going to be able to purchase your legacy NFT as well as your bond LP, because there's two different ways to really activate your rewards in our system. Do you have specific questions really about the legacy NFTs?
No, I've read up on the function and the difference there. I just didn't know. I wasn't specific with when the actual sale was for those.
No, they're quite fantastic, and you have profit sharing into the system. 1.5% of all transactions, buy and sells, are going to the pool of legacy NFT holders, as well as having a DAO vote in major decisions in the system. Any changes, any pivots that we want to make, as well as these external investments. We got a couple of them that are pretty interesting. There's some other ones we have in mind that we don't really want to share at this point. But really tapping into our experience from the real world. I did renewables for over 10 years, and this is absolutely a fantastic opportunity. It's just the old saying, when there's blood on the streets, there's absolutely great opportunity to be had. You just have to connect the dots and be able to do it in an efficient manner with companies that have a fantastic background. And that's going to be part of the voting here. We're going to present the companies, the contracts for every investor that is a member of our DAO to take their time and do their due diligence on the companies, the contracts with the oil company, what deal we're able to work out with them, and also check their officers, their balance sheets, the financial health of their operation, as we are plugging into third parties, and look at regulation in Canada. There's a lot of things that really need to be taken care of and looked at carefully, and we're going to give folks to the opportunity and the information to really conduct their own personal due diligence, as it is, not our money. It's the investors' funds, right? We have to make sure that everyone that is going to vote has had adequate time to conduct that due diligence. Any questions, comments, guys? I think, Mark, you want to go manage that operation for us over there in Canada? No, I think Mark's very happy in Australia, doing what he does best.
I was just doing some other stuff while I'm listening. But no, I've got enough work to do here.
They've got great people, and we here too. Jan's been in crypto mining since over a decade. He can also supervise the folks that we put there on the ground. So great opportunity, and we're also open to suggestions, business ideas, and the real world that could be profitable for ARK. So our door is always open for ideas and suggestions for that. Kuro in the house. Nice to see you, sir. Dr. Marcel. Great to see you too here tonight, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Dr. Marcel, you there?
Yes, sir.
What do you think about buying those ASICs on the cheap and going over and hooking up to that natural gas?
I don't know. I was in the mining game a few years ago and trying with GPUs first and different ASICs and programmable ASICs, and it's like a risky game. Mining always was, because what you see right now is it's not what you get tomorrow.
Depends how you looked at it, and it always comes down to cost of energy, cost of equipment, and if you're able.
Okay, my energy is cheap, but yeah, and usually you have to be early. I mean, even if back in the days, if you could buy a miner from Bitmain or something, you never know with all the new miners how long they were like shadow mining already before they ship it. So yeah,
waiting list, man. People paying double the price. It was insane. Everybody wanted to be out there mining. Now understanding that the price volatility is
I did
tough.
that when Ethereum first went like triple digits, like from 50 to around $100 that time, and then I was my whole man cave was like a heated place, because there were like I had like some rigs with 3,000 4,000 watts consuming power, and all the heat couldn't get anywhere. But like the first month, the first 2 months were pretty great, and then you could see it like weekly, the decay, because everybody wants to hop on the train, the FOMO kicks in, and I think it was like the outcome was like more than half each 4 weeks. So I think I made like €1,000 a week the first month. The second was like barely a bit more than 1,000 for like the whole month, and then I start to get worried, and thank God the hype was still big enough so I could sell all the hardware for like I think around the price that I bought it. So it was a zero-sum game, and I had the profit from a few months of mining. But yeah,
That happens with a lot of things. People see the trend. I mean, when the old lady at the grocery store is talking about buying Bitcoin, she saw it in the 8 o'clock news. It was a new hype, all-time high again. That's always been for me the signal time to sell. When everybody's doing the same thing, it's and it's at that level of hysteria and FOMO. Everybody's just freaking out, trying to get on board the trend. It's
as soon as my old school friends and whoever started asking, like, oh, so you're still in those Bitcoin stuff? Tell me, should I buy? Then I said, oh, no, not anymore. If you're asking me, you better not buy.
Absolutely, man. So it's the opposite when everybody is into the fear cycle and the panic and gloom, and they want to jump out the windows, and they're freaking out. That's generally where the smart money comes in and takes advantage. It's a cycle, man. As a trader, that it happens time and time again, and it actually never seems to fail. So when you're hearing the hype, it's actually negative, and then when you hear them, cry.
Yeah, I mean, my first year of trading was awesome in profits. Really, like the worst that could happen to you in like getting into trading, because it was 2017. I bought Bitcoin below 1,000, and I kept buying the whole year, thinking, I do everything right. It will never stop. And I didn't sell before 20K.
For the good days. And I mean, the stock market, you could be a blindfolded monkey and throw a dart and win. I mean, everything's just, was just crazy of the upside. Everybody's a great trader when everything's going parabolic. It's insane. Good times, man. Good times ahead, and in a sense, I think the more difficult it gets, the more opportunity, and that's part of what I think we're here to do, to identify where those opportunities are and be able to jump on them and seize them, and at the same time have our stable income that's coming from ARK, that through the compounding just keeps growing and giving more, and I mean that in itself is exciting. That's why we're here. That's why we're planning for the long future, regardless how bad Bitcoin or Ethereum or everything else is doing. We're working in a closed loop system here, independent of what's happening around, independent of what we can't control. Here we're able to control our price. We're able to control the fairness of the system, the payouts. People will be able to get their ROI. They'll be able to reinvest. They'll have so many options. And if they reach the max payout, they could just go and shift on over to a brand new wallet and just start to grow and bring their team that they had in the previous wallet and merge all those guys over and just play the game again. So quite fantastic, quite exciting, I think. And let's get this crypto. Any questions or comments?
Well, Atlas, I have something that's been on my mind for a few days now.
Yes, sir.
As you know, I've been in a lot of crypto projects for over the past 11 years. And what I am experiencing here at ArkFi is really something else. For 2 weeks, we have seen messages from community members telling that they messed up their referrer when purchasing the pre-sale NFTs, for example. And instead of ignoring that or saying too bad, you should have done your due diligence. Atlas and Brad, you told the team we have to listen to the community. They are here for us, we are here for them. And 1 week later, bam, we are coding the referrer chain's infrastructure. So like already more than 55 people have changed their referrer since the launch a couple of hours ago. And I am like watching the terminal going by every minute. So yeah, I just wanted to say that I find it really admirable that you and Brad really listen to what the community is saying and what they need. So I want to thank you. I love being a part of this movement.
Man, thank you so much, Crypto Jan. And look, it wouldn't be possible without your efforts and your hard work. You have a lot of responsibilities. You're in big business and tech, and that you've gotten inspired and wanted to become a part of this team and join us. It's no secret we went to 2 different sets of coding teams, and it was a mess. It just overpromise, underdeliver. Waiting 2 weeks. We had one guy 2 weeks to get a reply from a simple question. Just absolute no regard, and a lot of them were just overbooked. Took on more clients, letting the greed take over. Charge big money for sub quality work, bad communication, very frustrating. And to have you here it's really an honor, and gives me so much confidence to be here and to talk to folks and bring my family and friends, and know that we have amazing communication, and you guys have the experience, you have the skill, and you're motivated because you understand that there's really an opportunity for a lot of folks to replace their income or earn an additional income through the investments. The little guy, the whale, everybody can come and find a safe opportunity that's really fair. So no, thank you, because I think our culture and the people that we want everyone to win, and listening to the community is important, so that folks feel that they're a part of this, because without the community, without folks wanting to be here, we don't have a project. We could have the greatest idea, but if we don't have happy investors that are set and really understand what they're getting themselves into, they have access to a lot of answers, because there's a lot of questions as to what we do here, how we do it. It's not an get rich overnight thing. So I think it's a perfect really relationship, the partnership that we have here, the core team, the community, and just being able to go ahead and shift and quickly you guys create that. For me personally, it's almost a miracle, because I really went through a lot of pain trying to find amazing people. So thank you, Jan.
Amen. Let's get this crypto, man.
Fantastic work. Fantastic work. I mean, I don't know if you guys are into sports. I'm not much into sports, but I have watched some sports. I like generally finals, because the level of competition is so great. And in basketball, there's the what they call the dream team, and that was the group of American professional players that were allowed to play in the Olympics in Barcelona. And I mean, it was the best of the best that ever sort of like were played in that era all together. And it was unfair because they were so much more advanced than any global team that was coming over. And quite exciting. And I almost feel like we have something similar to that. It's a dream team, and I think I've told that to you guys before, because everyone is so talented and able to achieve things that I haven't seen before. I mean, what you did with those NFTs, that you know, that was really amazing. Usually they're already preset, all of the images, and just that randomness is coming to play. So cutting edge innovation is, I think, you know, being able to have the great ideas, but if you don't have the team that can execute on time, safe, and have everything working in a seamless manner, I think that a lot of innovation just gets left to the side, and I understand why, because it's so hard to find people. Even this whole Web3 thing with React, all these folks are out there. Yeah, I'm a Web3 developer. I do React. Oh my God, dude. Some of the stuff that I got sent, you took 2 weeks to do make this piece of trash. Are you serious? And you charge this amount? And it's almost like a scam. It's just these inadequate people trying to fake it till they make it. And it all shows in the quality of the end product, the end result. They all talk very good and they know how to sell, but when it comes to the results, it's really sad. And a couple of times I was like, this is going to be impossible to find great folks. It's really hard. And I think most of the really good React people are working on like Facebook and Instagram. So what's left in the DeFi space is pretty, it's pretty sad. And another part is because it's crypto and it's crypto projects, and they know that folks generally know how to raise capital. They'll charge you 5, 6, 7 times more than if that person was working out in the real world for the same amount of hours. They really take advantage. I don't know if you've seen that, Jan.
Yes, unfortunately, I do, because I also get like a lot of requests, obviously, but mostly it's from people that are just there for the money, and a lot of developers also are coming knock on our door, like, can I work for you guys? And then they charge like a ridiculous amount of money, but luckily I know what questions to ask, so I give them a tiny project of max an hour, and I say code this for me, and then I know how well they are at programming. But other projects, they cannot do that, right? So they just think, oh, we see senior developer, they must be good. Okay, let's give them $150 an hour, but they are worth shit, right? So, and the
Yeah,
space is filled with these people.
absolutely. And they're leeching off of projects, and then some, because they're hiding behind their avatars. They don't even have a LinkedIn, or they have a fake it to make it LinkedIn. You have to worry that they left, some backdoors, right? That they did some
Exactly.
bad things. And someone like myself that doesn't have, coding experience, understanding the liability, understanding that, how can you trust these people? You go to Certic, okay, yeah. How many projects have we seen just go to Certic and completely get exploited and hacked? It is not a security blanket. So having you here is just brought a whole another level of confidence and comfort. I call it this, the security blanket that I personally sleep at night, and I want all of our investors to really understand, what you bring to this project on the security side and the innovation and the coding, working so well with Mr. Green. And I look at my wife and I say, like, wow, like I can't believe this is a dream come true that we have these gentlemen here, and they're so excited and they're so easy to work with, and they're just generally amazing human beings, besides being very, very talented in their own fields. So
That's
man,
just
really,
professional, man.
yeah. Yeah, but in this space, you can't find it. So hard. It's
Yeah,
so hard, man.
it's a
And
shame.
yeah, and there's some that have a reputation, and they just go from project to project, and it's just like another scam after another scam, and you're like, man, I don't want to be associated with people like that. I mean, that's how what I want to spend my time in. And a lot of this for us, and Brett was pretty much semi-retired, before coming here to ARK, and just see him understand and take the amount of hours this man's doing, taking his kids to school, and he's got a newborn child, and just the passion and the dedication and the time, because he's seeing the same thing I'm seeing. He's seeing this fantastic team that's really coming together, with a vision, but is able to actually execute, not just talk about it. And we've been very good at talking, no doubt about it. But always the frustration, Dr. Marcel. I mean, I know you remember, you've been here through this journey. Mark has been here with me through this journey. Fortunate, Brad ass. Um, it has been a frustration to be able to communicate with folks, and create a community, relationship, from a very, I think, ethical and honest and transparent, way, but having the frustration on the other side of, we cannot get a product out there done correctly the right way. And for me, it was very difficult. I'm going to be really clear with you. Very, very difficult, very frustrating. Um, and then that whole frustration just melted away with you guys coming forward. And Alex is another superstar. That guy, the skills and work ethic. It's just it's really humbling, and I get overwhelmed just with a feeling of gratitude and respect, for the people that have come on board, and then you look at the investors, and they're taking notice, and they're seeing something very, very special here. That's just going to set a standard. I feel bad for other projects, even coming in the future. I mean, we're here to help them. We're going to have a lot of our own products that we're going to be able to offer to them. Of course, we have to do our due diligence and make sure that they're good folks with the right intentions, good backgrounds, and are there to do the right thing for the communities. So, we're definitely raising the bar, and I think it's going to be difficult for a lot of folks that are not going to be able to produce and execute the way that we're doing it. Let's get this crypto. You the man. Hope you're doing well. Brett, I wanted to actually have you talk a little bit about something, because you the man was talking to me on DMs a bit about the whole perception of the whale game, for legacy NFTs. And I like the way that you really break it down, and show how that is absolutely not the case at all. There are some advantages, and there's more capital investment, in the situation. So, um, I know Udaman's sick. He's not really able to talk. Let me just ask him first. Udaman, are you able to speak? If you're not, could
Yeah,
you?
I'm here.
Okay, great. Let's talk about whale games.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so I start talking about ARK, and then my understanding is ARK is for everyone. Whales, small fishes, whoever, common they like a dad, like a Daily Joe, whoever. But when I share the documentation, and then when they saw the NFTs like a platinum, gold, and silver, and they just the initial impression, I think they thought, wow, this is for the whales, and those who have a lot of money bought that NFT and then hypo compound and get a lot of money. And that's what they thought, and then they expressed their concern. So I thought, I don't think so. So maybe you must misunderstanding something. So maybe you can elaborate. the design and then the role of NFTs and
Yeah,
and
certainly.
how,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was something that
please
came up early on, at first blush, without digging into the project too much. And I think it kind of became a thing that people that were trying to smear the reputation of the project or just dismiss it altogether kind of caught on to, like, oh, this is a big whales game. You need a bunch of money and then you can just compound your way out and blah, blah, blah. So the first thing I'll say to that is the whole purpose behind the legacy NFT is not the compounding. That seemed to be something that people caught on to because they're familiar with that, culture and other dApps, and it's the thing that's preached, and they all believe that's the path to success, right? So in this protocol, though, if you did take that, let's say that platinum NFT, which I'll mention, or there's only 100 of them. So if we have 100,000 wallets, let's say, in the game, and there's 100 people that have that platinum NFT, it's such a minuscule number of people that could even do additional compounding that it won't even affect the grander scheme of things. It's not really a factor. But let's say that they did have that platinum NFT and they wanted to compound as much as they possibly could. They'll still have to claim or withdraw every 2 weeks, which in other protocols it's not required. In ours it is required. So in other protocols, you can whale up as much as you want. You can put 20,000 tokens in your wallet, and then 2 months later you're at max payout, draining the system. So ours is much more conservative in that respect, and you still have to withdraw at a minimum of every 2 weeks if you have the platinum NFT. And then on top of that, if you did wait too long and you went, let's say your principal balance hits that 26,666 mark, and you've only been withdrawing a minimal amount, you're going to run into the highest level tax tiers, and you're actually doing yourself a disservice and sending more back to the tax vault if you waited that long to withdraw. And if you run the calculator, the way that Kelly set the calculator up is perfectly balanced so that it actually would net or yield the same number of tokens as everyone else in the system. But if you followed a different strategy and you didn't withdraw as much as Kelly even has in the calculator, you'll end up with far less. I think you'll end up with like 18,000 tokens instead of 27,000 tokens at the end of the day. Also, if you look at how many tokens you're actually netting at that 10th tax level, which is when you're getting close to the 80,000 max payout, you're only going to be getting about 110, 120 tokens a day. I can't remember the exact number. I should probably look that up because it is important. So the number of tokens that you're getting out towards the end is far, far less if you follow that strategy. So I would warn anyone with the platinum NFT, if they aren't, diligently looking and following at least a more balanced strategy towards the 4th or 5th level tax tier, you're going to end up with less tokens at the end of the day. So that's the basic math that all people in the system need to look at, whether they're a silver NFT holder, don't have a legacy NFT at all, or they're a platinum legacy NFT holder. They really need to watch, because it's not the system is built differently so that it doesn't reward anyone that waits till the end to start withdrawing. The other whole piece to that is that people that do purchase that legacy NFT really support the whole entire ecosystem. So that money goes into our external revenue streams that then feeds back to the liquidity of the system. It also builds our reserves, and it also helps with the development and ecosystem expansion. So in the sense, those whales, even though they do get, to have a little bit more flexible investment opportunity in the ARK Vault, they support everyone's chance to have a long-term future in the ArkFi system, because that money is then taken and used to develop, to grow external investments, and really the tide rises all ships in that case. So those are the two main things I would point to for people that have that initial reaction. One, do some calculations and really look at how that hyper compounding will work out for you in this system. Two, I would look at if that person is planning on doing that kind of level of hyper compounding, they're going to net far less tokens at the end of the day. And every wallet in the system, no matter if you're a small fish or a big fish, you still have the same opportunity to net the same number of tokens. You just need to be careful in how you manage that. And then third, they're giving that much needed capital to the system so that everybody can grow as the system grows, and as our future revenue streams grow. That's all feeding back into the same ecosystem, the same liquidity pools and everything that everyone's sharing and working towards. So yeah, we want those people to be in the system. We want them to help make that investment, and we want that capital so that we have a bright long future with the entire platform.
So I thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Brett.
You're welcome. Hope you feel better.
Yeah, Uniman's been beat up, man. He's been feeling really bad. The other day he was here. He didn't have a voice. At least he tried to speak with us. Uniman, do you understand further? Because it is important that folks
Yeah.
not
So I
that's
understand better. So I
$8,000.
see the bullet point.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. I wanna head them to. I just want them to dig a little bit more. I want to direct them to a place where they can actually see. I know Kelly's calculator is available, right? So maybe that one will be helpful. Also, I think in our documentation, I think you included the best practice, I think written by her. So probably that would be a good one
Yes. Yes. Best practice is written by her. Correct.
in our documentation, correct?
Could you repeat that, please?
That's in our white paper.
Yes, sir. If you go to the white paper, you'll find the best practices. Is at the bottom.
Sure.
Brett mentioned one. It
Okay,
should
alright.
probably be at the top, but the way it's arranged right now, it's at the bottom. And I can understand psychologically, folks are looking at $10,000, to have the platinum NFT, and right away they get that sort of sticker shock, like if they were purchasing a vehicle or something. And folks are just lazy. They don't want to do the research and understand generally, why is that? How does that $10,000 get invested? What is the difference? Looking at the price of bond LP as well. S23, can you pull up the actual price of bond LP for us here? One quick second. Okay, there we go. All right, there it is, bond USD value. So if you go and look at bond, right, and you look at the price also of the platinum NFTs, do you see something, similar?
Pull up.
Yeah, it's right there. So you look at the NFT price and then you look at the bond LP price for your reward levels. It still costs a lot. Do you see what I'm trying to explain to you, Udaman?
Where is it?
It's in the chat. It's just posted by Rose and S23. And then you compare it with the NFT price above. Again, sometimes people just want to see what they want to see. There's folks that look at a half empty glass and some that look at a half full glass. It's a lot of it's perspective, and I think just mental. And we, as investors here in ARK, we need to be able to have this conversation and explain it correctly to potential investors. That's why a lot of this is really educational. Um, I know that we're working on a roadmap for really having a lot of simple videos that folks can watch that are going to explain everything. And a big part of that is just balancing everything out. And the
I see the screenshot bonds.
yep.
Right.
So the prices are very very similar. And this is a limited supply that you have of the legacy NFTs, and it helps, like Brett was saying, the whole ecosystem expansion, external investments. Everybody's crying, oh, external investment for all these projects. But where does the money come from? Liquidity. We've all seen how that ends up. Taking money from liquidity and putting it into speculative investments is playing with fire, my friend. So these folks are stepping up, and they're having that vision to take a risk, to become a partner into the whole project. And even then, as Brett said, if they hyper compound, I mean, they're not allowed to. The smart contracts, punish people that do behaviors that are not in line with the way that the system balances out. They can go a bit faster, but if they're not careful, they're going to end up leaving a lot of ARK token on the table. So everybody's throttled correctly in the right fashion, that it balances everything out. And only 100 of those NFTs. You see what I'm saying? It's all
Okay,
math.
may I
Yeah, go
ask
ahead.
a question? So when they see this one, probably those who only play the online dApps, it'll be they'll be puzzled. Or what is the price of bonds are all different. What are these? What's the role of for this? Maybe can you explain in plain English?
I don't know if I understand the question, man.
There are like different levels of uh, the bunch of different prices. Like some of them 100 worth of bonds to a lot more. So when people see this chart, what do you want to what do you want them to understand by looking at this chart at this table?
Well, understand that as you grow, if you're going to develop your own syndicate, and you want to get a lot of referrals, and you want to grow your whole syndicate under you, that in order to be able to cash in and get all of the rewards, from the 5% deposits to the compounding rewards of the actions that folks are doing in the system on a daily basis, that you need to upgrade yourself to activate those levels so that you're able to win more. If you're just an investor that is playing alone, you don't need this. It is not for you. If you want to grow in the system and you want to be proactive, maybe turn it into a business of actually taking the time to talk to friends and people in your community, or write articles. Or if you want to become very active, you can take advantage of all of the opportunity that the different levels of reward can give you, right? That's for the really for the bond LP, and the NFTs do the same, but they also give you a partnership, profit sharing into the whole system, as well as to our external system and voting. So for the little guy that's never been in these things, they generally don't have to worry about it until they make a decision to bring others along with them. And you can always grow slowly, one person at a time. And as you start to expand, and you start to really, have a lot of folks and a lot of levels, you can understand that you could take some of the profits and start unlocking those levels so that you can actually make more. Does that help?
Yes, I got it now.
Everybody gets to play their own game at the level they can afford to invest with an understanding of getting a return on investment. The system's built that into it. And as you go along, that's why we didn't want to create prices that change, because it has to be accessible to anyone that shows up here 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. Every new investor has the same game to play. Just like, when you start a game of Monopoly, I love Monopoly. You sit down, everybody gets the same amount of credit in their bank. Now they're able to grow in the system. They're able to invest and purchase properties, and those properties, create cash flow. It's a cash flow game that people are learning how to play, but everybody's starting in the same game with the same rules. There's luck and there's chance and that type of game, but here it's in the smart contracts, and it's a fair playing field, where there isn't a loser. Everybody's a winner. You just have to take the time, and just like you can buy a hotel and you can add another hotel on top after you have X amount of houses, those reward levels are the same. You're able to grow more into the system. You have to invest capital to be able to purchase those hotels, and now you're earning a lot more in the game. Maybe that's not the best analogy, but that's the first one I can think of. If trying to talk to a 10-year-old child, or just somebody who wants to really kind of understand in terms of some game they've played before, I think a lot of people have played Monopoly.
Yeah, Alice, I just want to add that that's the kind of the mindset that we had going into how we structured all of those, because we understand that some of the levels are a little bit more expensive than people might be used to in other daily ROI dApps. But all of our deposits that you make into ArkFi, all of them yield something. So we're really true to the whole DeFi yield protocol name, in that other daily ROI dApps, it might be a secondary token that you need to buy and hold in order to qualify for referral rewards and things like that. But with ours, we looked at it and said, hey, if we're going to be paying back or giving some kind of level of a variable yield out to the legacy NFT holders and the bond LP holders, not only are they getting the utility that comes with those for referral rewards, which should be, profiting back to them as well through their ARK Vault account, but also they're getting, BUSD rewards, that those can hold a little higher level because they're higher value in that sense. It's not like a throwaway investment, or I put my money in and I just have to hold this token forever and never get anything back for it. So that's an important point to, I think, keep in mind, is that although they might be a little bit more expensive, everything yields, everything, pays back a dividend. And that makes it, I think, a little bit more exciting and justifies a little bit higher price for the utility you're getting, and then also for a secondary investment in the system, you're getting a little bit back in return.
Good point. That's good. Yeah, that people are wondering, what is this for? Can we sell? Can I sell? Why do I hold? And I'm stuck with this to get the referral bonus. Is that it? And things like that. That's good.
Let's get this crypto.
Well, you can go for fishing on a boat, right? So you can have a rod, and you can get like one fish, two fish, three fish, or whatever. The sea is there, the boat is there, everything. But you could bring with you a net and get many fish. It's how you're prepared, right? So you put people below you in your network, right? So you're not expecting too much. Like you say, like to yourself, like I got two, three, five people below me. Yeah, okay, but maybe do a level one or whatever, and then boom, you got like one or two or three superstars that you just put below you, and they are bringing in people like like there's no tomorrow. So you're not getting like you're missing out, like you're not prepared for it, like you're missing out on all this revenue. So In my opinion, it's better to be prepared. Like if you can be prepared, always be prepared. That's my 2 cents.
Let's get
Prepared.
this. And you demand this is important that you come to us. You send me these DMs that we invite you here to have this dialogue, this conversation, these explanations, because these are the challenges that we're going to face, and we need to become very effective through these conversations about um, having ways to be able to perfect our our pitch, our way of explaining things to the common man, because that's really where we're heading. And you're seeing that, and folks are asking questions. You're a leader, you are a syndicate founder, you are a educator through your YouTube channel, you deal with investors all the time. And I'm glad that you do that and you come here. That's what this space is for. It's not for sitting and just clowning around or just talking about what's happening in DeFi. It's really purposely built for a platform for all of us to be able to talk, ask questions, come up with solutions, better ways to communicate. The better we become at communicating, the more successful this project is going to be. And you're a person that needs to have these tools, needs to have this answers so that you could relay that to your investors, your community. And I mean, you're even doing it in a foreign language, which is amazing. It's really important. So I thank you for coming, because it's easy to just answer you in the DMs, but it's much better and effective to really bring it out into a conversation that's being recorded, because I guarantee you there's folks that are going to listen to this tomorrow or the next day, and they're writing me and they're writing Brett and they're writing all of our admins, hey, that podcast was fantastic, I learned a lot. And I think that's part of the reason where we ask a lot of questions and folks don't answer, because they've already spent time here, and they've heard a lot of the answers, and they've been able to create in their mind a clear picture that every time just gets better and just more understandable. Because I've always found if you don't understand something, it's hard for you to be able to explain it to somebody else. First, it has to be you. It starts with your education, with your ability to understand why you're playing the strategy you're doing. What is your plan for growth? What happens when you get that growth? Or what happens if you just sit back and relax and go walk your dog and spend time with your family and let the investment grow over time without any pressure or any goals for additional folks to join your syndicate and grow with you. Every individual has a different lifestyle, a different set of responsibilities, commitments, or or really, a project like this can become their sole income. They could go out there and really be on fire, like Brad did here with us in phase one. He saw the opportunity. He said, "Wait, I can earn rewards from helping other people to earn." And the guy just had a fire inside of him, and brought so many great folks from his community to the investment. So there's going to be people like that, and they're going to have a lot of questions on how to be effective in growing, how to have a right strategy. And I think over time we realize that this it's the same questions over and over, and the more that we're answering them, the better we become also as communicators in that process. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Atlas, I think that one of the most important factors in systems like that is recruiting the right persons. There's a misconception probably, like just just getting anyone that works too, and of course it's good, the power of numbers, but like you will get to some people that are going to be very very active, very dynamic, and very willing to do the job, like to recruit people, to recognize potential and everything. So it's not just the numbers, like it's the numbers are good, but it's also about being able to find the right people for the right job, something you and are obviously good at, and it's leadership. Like if you are a team leader, if you are a syndicate leader, the key word is leader. So
Yeah, yeah. Folks need the tools to be able to be effective, to be able to go out there and execute. And it's not something I think that for most folks comes naturally and in one day. And in order for Udemann's people, his syndicate, to be able to first decide to make the investment, they have all these questions that have to be answered, and then they learn how to manage their investment if they decide to come here with us, and then they will continue to have more questions to really manage themselves and what they're doing and their strategy, and then later become effective to bring others. And there's going to be absolutely superstars like Brad that are just going to come in here and really just get so excited and ask a million questions. And once their mind is made up, now they're going to go out there to the masses and just grow. And that's very important for the sustainability, for the long-term, network effects of what we're doing here. We cannot just sit and wait, and hope and pray for people to come. We have to go out there and give the tools to those folks that want to go out there so that they can be effective. That's knowledge, information, education, marketing materials, some videos that just explain DeFi and how, taking the middleman out of finance is a perfect thing. And we're seeing this happen in crypto as well as in the traditional finance world, where, folks are not working in a decentralized manner. They're working in a centralized manner and abusing their power, abusing customer funds and accounts, which is something that is going to be really exciting, I think, for us to talk about with a lot of investors in the real world. I think I could foresee some people saying, "Oh wow, crypto, no, that's a scam. Oh, this big FTX thing and the Luna," and I want to stay away from that because that's what they're hearing in the news. That's what's going inside their minds because that's what's become public at this time. And they just have a fear and that the negativity just sets in. And I think that's where the real narrative and the story comes of like, well, exactly. It's happened in crypto. Look at Credit Suisse. We talked about that today. They've mismanaged funds. They've done illegal actions. Of course, in banking, you see that they never go to jail. They get a couple hundred billion, dollar in millions in fines or billions even I've seen, a slap on the wrist. And, the government's happy because they collected their cut. But, it happens over and over again. And smart contracts really is the beauty about DeFi. When an investor has an account here in the ARK Vault, not me, not Mr. Green the coder, not Jan, not Brett, no one can touch his funds, block his account, wipe it all out from him. That is absolutely impossible due to the way that the smart contracts that are trustless are set up. And that's when I think somebody says, but wait, how does that work? But I thought the crypto guy, he stole everybody's money. Yeah, he had a business. And in that system, they did not use smart contracts. Those were accounts just like your local bank, Big Bank of America or UBS or JP Morgan, they could pull the money out of your account because there aren't smart contracts. And I think that's a really exciting conversation that I personally can't wait to have with a lot of folks. A lot of folks that don't understand DeFi. And believe me, I think that I could be very effective into taking folks that are coming with that negativity and explaining to them that this is a solution not only to, crypto companies and centralized exchanges, but also for traditional banking systems, for government systems, for driving licenses, on smart contracts like NFTs, property assets, where there is absolutely no games that are being able to play because the smart contracts are built for that trustless system, where not one set of board of directors has such power to break those contracts, because it's just impossible. It's unavailable. So it's almost like taking a negative narrative and bringing real truth and light to it. And I don't know, for me, it's fun. I don't know. Do you guys have an opinion?
Yeah, I think there's an easy explanation. I just today I was talking to a friend from school, and he's not into crypto, but he heard about the stuff with FTX and so on, and starts to, oh yeah, maybe crypto is not that what it's always promising and whatever. But the explanation is easy, because usually, crypto is about decentralization, right? And what happens with FTX is exactly the opposite. That's exactly the problem that we try to get rid of with crypto, because when everything is centralized and any douchebag fucks up like this, then that's it.
But particularly the whole spectrum, I'm really trying to zero in on, of DeFi and smart contracts. I wish that my bank had smart contracts for my account, and transactions would be approved, not from their centralized system, but from smart contracts. The way that we actually invest here in DeFi, we don't need permission from anybody else. We just connect and approve, and you're credited or you're subtracted according to your approval. It's hopefully the direction that we're in. And I hope that the powers that be are going to bend the knee, as they say, and allow this to cross on over. And I think the more events like this that happen gives us an opportunity to have that conversation at a personal level, at an investor group level, at a government level, regulation level. They're looking at the bad apples, but they need to see how decentralized smart contracts solve exactly the issues that we're having. And then looking deeper into the traditional finance and what's happening right now there, you're going to see, mark my words, a lot of banks shit the bed pretty soon. There's a lot of bankrupt banks still with the lights on, Deutsche Bank being one of them. You haven't heard that in the news yet, but I've got people that are on the inside, really, really deep in finance. And I've been hearing for over a year the situation happening there, but it's just going to start to trickle and come down. And I think that it's going to take a lot of folks to really go out there and talk to Congress. And it kind of makes me a bit upset that Sam Bankman-Fried was actually sitting in Washington. How many hours did he spend over there lobbying? And then I think that they got egg on their face now because, oh, we were talking to the guy and he's trying to bring us this great thing, and then he turned out to be a fraud. Like that's hurtful. I think that's not good for the industry. I think maybe someone like Charles Hoskinson and he's been in Washington too, from Cardano. That's somebody I think with great ethics and his heart in the right place. And so far has never done anything to make us think otherwise. He's somebody of great integrity, and I think because of the donations and the flash and all the celebrities around, SBF, he got a lot more access because he paid for the access. Because that's how, at least in America, the lobbying, which is completely legal, works. So, that is a concern. But again, look, we're going to put our efforts, our focus on the folks that we can help and the folks that we can have conversations with the things that we can control, and hope that, we set an example for folks to understand the beauty of smart contracts and how done correctly, they can be extremely safe. And maybe, by changing their mind and offering them opportunity, they'll be able to have conversations one day with people of power and, express that to them. So we can all get this crypto. Another thing that I wanted to bring up in the recording, folks, it is very important that every investor here, part of this community, understands that in our chat here on Telegram and through our other social medias, Discord, Twitter, we want to respect anyone who's coming and doesn't have a referral or a syndicate team, and not poach them, not write them DMs. Our policy is always, and I want to be very clear, to refer them back to where they first heard about ARK. We need to respect our investors who are out there, who are talking about ARK, who maybe are doing YouTube videos or Medium articles, and refer people that just come in to see if this is real, who's around, do their due diligence. Keep it very respectful. If you send your neighbor who had $10 million and was looking to diversify their investment, and you send them here, and somebody approached them and got into their DMs and was trying to convince them in whatever way to sign up with them, I think you would be fairly upset, because that's unfair. So I politely ask you to respect the rules of the community, whichever media that folks are interacting. And if anybody does ask, please refer them back to where they first heard about ARK, and be very respectful about it. It's important for our growth. It's our culture, respect, and we're here to answer any questions. This is a place of education, of making new friends, and just making sure that everybody has all the information to make their decision and to be able to manage their investment. So thank you for taking that all into consideration. It's very important. And also something that if we do see it happen, that we're going to take action, because we absolutely must follow those rules of respect, and we're all going to be better for it. Let's get this crypto. Any questions? I mean, Dr. Marcel, how would you feel if you sent your family member or friend here and somebody tried to take them from you? Offer them some sort of a deal.
Yeah, I mean that the approach is great, because I mean I grew up with the internet, and so I'm pretty used to wherever you are, whenever it's about like someone ref links, affiliate links, whatever, they will like bury you in links whenever you say, oh, I didn't have one. So having this philosophy and this kind of culture is really great, because I mean, then even those who are not about like having a community online, or even trying to build one. But if they still like um, bring forward the idea and the knowledge of art to wherever, and then get some profit out of this, is like it's really great.
With that rule and the guidance has to come, supervision. And our admin team has alt accounts that they're constantly refreshing, and they're putting names and they're putting different pictures, and they're going to come in here and they're going to put, hey, I'm lost, I'm a little Red Riding Hood, I don't know who to go under, I'm confused. And anyone that falls for that, they're gonna face consequences, because this is not a place for people to come and fish. They're supposed to grab fish in their own ponds. This is an educational place. So I do want to put that warning out there. I'm glad this is being recorded. Do not fall for it, because we are supervising and making sure that just by asking you to do the right thing, we don't trust you. We know there's people out there that have bad purposes, and we're going to find them, and we're going to make sure that they are not here, because not everyone has the best intentions. So we're going to find that, and that's the way to I think set rules, is to make them clear and then enforce them. I mean, in the real world, they probably call it entrapment, at least in the American legal system, and that's when you entice somebody to do something bad. But the rules are set, and that's our only way to keep it professional and keep everything here clean. So just being very clear with you guys as to what the rules are. Always refer somebody back to whoever referred them, and don't fall into a trap, because we absolutely will take action. Let's get this crypto.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me of I had an idea, because I mean Christmas is getting close. A few days ago, we were talking like with S23 and I don't know who else it was, about like security and like the measures that you should take when operating in crypto to protect your money on computers and use a ledger and whatever. So I had the idea, because I had a few ledgers here that I don't use anymore. And I think when we were talking, we had the idea that we should, like, I mean, it's all about educating people and knowledge, and maybe we should do whenever, like in one of the, maybe not in the podcast because it's too late, like a short how to how to use a ledger, how to protect your crypto. And I would give, like, among the participants, one of the one of the ledgers we were then talking about, like as a whatever early Christmas gift, or just for the showing some effort to make the space some more secure. And I think that's a good way to make use of all the hardware that I still have lying around.
That'd be awesome. That'd be really awesome. That's really important to us. We want to make plans. Let's talk about it, and there's some work being done. We're going to hire some video people as well to start creating for the real world investors educational modules where it talks about, what is DeFi, what are smart contracts, what is an exchange, what is a DEX, what is, ledger and hard wallets. Like, those people don't know anything, and just having those materials will be really, really important. And if you want to help us with that, man, I'd love it. Absolutely. It's a great idea.
Yeah, and I think the more I thought about it, I mean, because we were talking about like setting up uh like different notebooks with like Linux systems that are like special protected and whatever. But like using a ledger is compared to that is like pretty easy, but already like on such a high level when it comes to um protecting your crypto. I mean, it has to be stolen. Wasn't it Daniel, like from Charge Agents, that got 40 million on the ledger that got stolen by his, I don't know, some burglars?
Burglars? Really? You said Daniel?
I remember that he told like a year ago or something, had a title that someone stole like I just lost 40 million pounds or something in crypto because he had stuff like I don't know if it was a ledger or just like USB drives lying around. And I mean he was always pretty open about how much money he makes, and someone just took it.
Maybe he's using the Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor always talks about, hey, what if I'm in my yacht and I've got my ledger and it just falls in the water and the tax man can't come in and charge me? Write it as a loss. But yeah, no, I agree, man. I'm with you, brother.
I think that people that go to solutions like Ledger or whatever, they are overcompensating. So they are actually exaggerating after being like they go from not doing the simplest things about the security, like the most basic stuff, then something happens or they suddenly get scared and then they go to the extremes. Like for me, a cold wallet is one extreme measure and it makes life more difficult. So again, like from that conversation, right? Like it will not happen to you if you have a well secured computer, like with the basic stuff like a good antivirus, a VPN, and you use your password for transactions. Like, don't be bored, don't be lazy. Use that password to confirm any transaction going on. It's very simple, really. And then you won't have to be paranoid and go to Ledger or extra computers with extra security and offline and all this. Like unless you're playing with millions, right? God bless. Then go get a Ledger, go get whatever you want. But do the basic stuff, take the most basic security measures, and you won't have like you probably have very slight chance to be in a difficult position. But like don't wait for it to happen to you then to do something about it. I think like most people don't use security, don't use password, don't use VPN, and so then it happens to them, and then they are going all like DEFCON 4 or whatever how it's called. It's pretty simple. Like do some of the simple steps. Like even your mobile phone should be on with a good VPN. Your computer the same. And let's face it, like unless you're like a high target, high value target, like there won't be like some the weakest hacker in the planet targeting you or whatever. Like it's that stuff happens in movies. The rest of
The
the
rest.
stuff, the rest
Well,
of
you,
the
you got
stuff
hacked like
happens
2 months ago.
what?
You got hacked like 2 months ago.
Yeah, because I was stupid.
Yeah.
Because on that PC I had deactivated my VPN, and like it's things like that, and you know what? Again, I had that problem, but it didn't cost me too much because I did have other stuff elsewhere, so it didn't do great damage.
Yeah. Guys, I have to go to a meeting right now. So let's go ahead, Mr. Fortunate, and prepare to close the podcast for tonight. I want to thank everyone for coming this evening, sharing with us. And for those of you folks that are listening to this at a later time, thank you. We hope that you get a lot of information, the updates. We have our, system here for changing your referral active, working perfectly. We've already had 55 people use that feature. That was activated today. And we will be back tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. EST, 11 p.m. UTC. Everyone have a fantastic evening. You're more than welcome to stay and hang out, but I do have to go to a meeting. Good night.